Today I'm going to talk about context. Right now I have no focus or context in my plugin. So first I'm going to decide that I want to implement this scrubber interface. So I can highlight everything and right click on it and use the CodeGen and add the snippet to context. So that's one way of adding context. The other one is that I have my unit test, so I'm doing test-driven development. I have my unit test here, and I can just simply pick the whole unit test. So I can add the file or folder, and I can pick the scrubber spec and add it that way. So now I have two contexts added right now. My scrubber, which is a certain amount of text in the file, and then the whole complete file. You can also pick methods too. Now I'm going to go to my data sanitizer, and I'm going to actually select this method that I want to implement the code. I could just actually add the whole class too, or I could select this, and that will give me the focus that I have on lines 7 through 10. Now from there, I'm going to say implement the interface scrubber requirements from Javadoc. And you'll notice that I might not even have spelled everything 100%, but we're sending it to the model anyway. So you'll see that it has done a imperative solution for me, and I can go ahead and I can simply just select everything since I like this and then insert it. I could have selected a portion of this code and added it in too. So the one thing that I can see here is that it added the redacted words, and that's already coming from there. So you're in the driver's seat. Pay attention to what you've been given, and sometimes it will give you a little bit more than what you need. So from that, I'm going to go ahead and run the unit test. So I'll go in and get my data sanitizer scrubber and go ahead and run. And there, we passed all the tests and all the requirements. But that was an imperative or way of doing this, using this replace all function and calling that per word. So I might not want to do that. We might have a set of requirements that we always adhere to, like a best practices, and that's exactly what I'm going to bring in here now. So I'm going to bring in this best practices and just refactor, and you'll see that this is a couple instructions for there, and I don't have to select it or put it in my context. I can just simply do an up arrow, or I'll do a new chat and have everything still selected, and you'll see that my context, I don't have this best practices. By default, we add that to your context. So there's certain things that you can do here with that. So now based on that, you can see that we actually said in the best practices file that I closed, I'll open it up again, that we wanted a functional style and ensure these different instructions. And you'll see that I was still using the GPT-4o, and I've gotten my now to do my functional style of programming, or a declarative programming style that I said in my best practices. So now I can go ahead and grab all of this again, just like before if I want to, and just insert it, and now run the unit test. And we passed. So this is a couple key significant things. So not only are we adding context, and you can add different contexts in doing that, but we also have things like best practices, and we have best practices per the language, and to give instructions. And this you can do without having to pick it every time, and that governance over your group of developers together. You guys can all start programming with the same patterns and functionality and governance over your code. Happy coding with Kodo.